experience! He made me experience high tide! Oh!
Angels aren't they? And you know, not always, but in different forms, yeah. Because I know you believe in God, but you love the Christian and Latin music, and you love all types of people, and you get emotional, and you know what? Oh, I want to give you a hug if you're viewing this, for yourself. I wanted to share that clip, right? For my spongies out there, basically people that are SpongeBob fans, right? Especially if you're autistic. Especially if you're Christian, right? I actually had a handful of paper towels and Kleenexes when I suddenly remembered this episode is supposed to be the Bubble Buddy. I wanted to go more detailed, but since I just really, depressed and a little overwhelmed of things lately, especially since my MacBook is just obsolete and it's difficult just to actually put videos together. Also, this random word, winks. I don't know why. I when I talk in my videos, I always think about word for word. If I'm thinking about a picture, I think about penguin, right? Bird, ice bird. Ice flightless bird. So, I don't know. Why am I saying penguins? Penguins are awesome. It's 12:30 right now, Dion. Yeah. And it's the 14th. And it's basically, I just was just my own business, just watching some random stuff on YouTube, just many different things. If I can check what I've been doing lately, because I have more viewers on here, so that way that the ones that I have now, Dumble, Greg, and Lori, she can't comment sadly, are able to get support from me by having newcomers on my channel, because I want to basically branch out and not hide inside my Koopa shell. I was watching something about Elio, I forgot the guy's name, Sam, that talked about that Disney movie that wasn't that great, I think, to basically cops to step in from an abusive native man. So I was watching some police and Disney videos, I suppose, random stuff, right? And I have to remember this episode because I will probably go in more detail later with me, maybe, I'm not sure, of how SpongeBob is really dark. Once you reach adulthood, it is really dark. The reason why I say that is because when I first seen the Bubble Buddy episode, right? Because people talk about how SpongeBob was supposed to be a murderer, or SpongeBob's not a murderer. He's just a dimwit, right? I mean, he's gullible, but he still has a huge heart. There's nothing wrong with being a dimwit sometimes. Literally, we all are at some point, right? Even to that viewer slate, I don't want him on my channel because the way he mistreated them, but I hope that he basically changed. Absolutely. Okay, and I'm not Christian. I grew up Baptist, right? Basically being a black Christian, if that counts. I don't know. You don't have to be black to be Baptist. Absolutely not. The thing is, when I was younger, well, when we were right, and I hope it's okay at the short clip and you just hear me ranting. And I did download that on YouTube. I'm just too lazy to look up. You just type in SpongeBob High Tide, you will find it, right? I'm sorry, I hope it's not as though I'm stealing someone's video off of that, right? Because it's on YouTube, and we download videos all the time. It'd just be too overwhelming for our brains to give credit, especially since I'm poor and whatnot. I just telling you to search up, YouTube search SpongeBob High Tide, you will find it. SpongeBob has a lot of humor for young kids. However, though, for adults, they can understand the joke, right? And for Scooter, for example, don't worry, he did not officially die in the series. Steven Hillenburg is not that cruel, right? And even if he did, I still love Steven Hillenburg. I don't mind if he even did die on character, because Steven knows that it's impossible to avoid death, right? It happens. And I think that's great that we all experience death. Living forever, that's hell. Oh God, live forever. I think that would be a crime itself, in my opinion. We could live long, but to be immortal, no, absolutely not. It cannot be that filming episode when death dies or something. Peter had to be deaf. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Imagine you get your head blown off, you still live for some odd reason. Oh, no. In a way, that's too much, right? And this visioning Scooter just dying like that because SpongeBob's Bubble, because people did there. You can find it on YouTube about the Bubble Buddy episode theory, right? I haven't seen any of those because there's just so many videos I could watch at a certain time of the day, right? I mean, I have a lot of time, but it depends on what it is, right? Because my ADHD brain just overruns a lot. My autistic heart can only put up with so much. So I hope it's okay that I can take my time to talk, right? Because on all YouTubers that like to talk in CO language, again, for those YouTubers, great. I'm not interested. So, like, just shut up for a bit, please. Well, pipe it. Okay? Great that you got a damn degree. You probably fucking suicide yourself. Stop. Anyway, at the end, sorry. Ugh, I got to take my time to talk. Because, honestly, no wonder our generation are a little bit, we're supposed more accepting, but at the same time, we're the opposite. We're de-evolving on, I guess, in gay rights or basically cultures and whatnot, and being surfer and not liking surfer dudes. I don't know. It's more like sex surfer dudes. I don't know. So, being more sexual, right? The thing is, basically, Bubble Buddy was supposed to help Scooter, right? I know that's actually his name because he's a background character, right? He's only appeared in a handful of special episodes. I know their names because they're people that did reactions of funniest moments, right? And basically, it's really, really difficult to talk about this because it's cartoon logic, which means it's not supposed to make sense in order for the series to make sense, right? Which makes sense of how, well, death happens in different ways, and that how majestic this series is when it comes to that background music they actually use. I don't know how Steven does it. How? It's incredible. That's what I miss about the old SpongeBob. I mean, the newer SpongeBob, I think I want style. Not the goofy ones, right? You know what I mean? The ones that, it's not the graphic type of gross. It's basically cartoonic gross that I don't like. That's kind of graphic, right? I can't explain it. It's really, really difficult because there's some episodes that do not make any sense to me. At least a couple years ago, the episodes kind of went downhill. And I don't like watching it. I guess you could say it's kind of sloppy. Nothing wrong with that, I guess, but it depends how much slop it is. That it can be so messy that your brain may feel a little bit overwhelmed. Same way when you eat sloppy joes and you may eat a little too much meat, you get a little tummy ache, right? It's like that, right? And I just got so emotional just seeing how the way he does that celestial, that's right, that's in Spanish, heavenly music, right? And I guess as someone that, was around church or whatever, I always like church or whatever orchestral music, and just hearing that in the background as he just floats up to the heavens, right? It breaks me down. Again, this comes for someone that doesn't like to go to church nor reads the Bible. But even though I'm more on the atheist side, like, there is a being somewhere, it's just, I don't know what it is. It could be anything. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest, though. But I just know, at least there is a spiritual being in a way. That's why I consider myself as agnostic, right? Because it's not a God. I don't know. I just know, like, maybe God is the universe and stuff. Who the hell knows? Maybe God is basically one of my pups. I don't know. That basically helps me for support, even though they can only do so much, right? Someone likes to sleep with me in my mother's bed. That's why it's probably a Buddhist way of saying it because of reincarnation. An agnostic Buddhist, I like to, if I could use that. I think I even had it on my Instagram, but, because I know I do like to practice Buddhist morals, but I guess it's more agnostic. I guess it's just so people won't get confused, right? And it's just so uncanny to me of how dreadful SpongeBob could be. Because in the early seasons, there's a lot of dark humor. Basically, that is supposed to be dark humor because Scooter drowned, right? And he's dying, he can go to, for my Christian viewers, right? I bet you're emotional if you see that. And I wish you could hear me crying now. I was crying a lot while I had to get some images that I download on Pinterest together, right? Just to do an audio of this. And especially since you see my profile picture, or at least in the video of my Siberian Husky and I, yes, he basically passed away of abdomen cancer. I've lost loved one, well, my family, or a handful of family members as I age. That's part of life, right? And my Siberian Husky and a couple other dogs. And maybe just seeing stuff like this in SpongeBob, it gives me, I actually invented this word, by the way. Well, I had to give someone on Reddit credit for it because they're a nurse. They say that they got, it's like blanket forgotten PTSD, when you basically forget that incident happened, but later you will remember it. I would call it the delayed PTSD, but I like to call it, because since my grandmother, she has Alzheimer's, right? I like to call it a dementia PTSD. You literally forget you have all this trauma, and then out of nowhere, you will remember it, right? I made this up. I mean, this is 2 words in one. I want to make up a word. I guess you could call it post-traumatic stress dementia, right? So PTSD, but PTSD dementia, right? That makes sense. I kind of like to combine those. I don't know. You know, it's fun inventing new words, because when someone has dementia, you know, because it happens to a lot of people that are older. Not every single old person, but sadly it happens for some odd reason. You would forget to take care of yourself and to do certain tasks. It's dreadful. It's as though, because Dubbo loves this, you're a zombie, but you're not infected, right? And I don't think there's a cure yet. I hope to Buddha's belly, maybe the next decade, or maybe 5 years at least, or probably find some type of medicine or whatever to decrease dementia. And I have a lot of trauma from certain stuff. I even feel guilty the way I act towards other people. I do. Absolutely. You know, you always feel guilty. Absolutely. Guess I'm still doing my best to talk to myself. It's a diary chart for a reason, right? And just replaying that scene, it broke me down, because I don't know why. Maybe because of I don't know. Okay, because I'm 30. Right? I know, it's insane to me. It's not old, but I'm not a young adult, right? It's weird. You know, I think the reason I'm saying that, because I feel I'm 60 in autistic years, is because I had to go through so much stress that my hair's turning gray. Yes, that's normal. Even though it's not normal to have gray hair at this age. But I had it since I was 20, I believe. Right? It runs in the family, right? Think about League of the Loud House, right? Which you see in the beginning there of that random image, right? Think about how when Lincoln's saying, again, the Loud fandom is really, 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 really uncanny, and even perhaps inappropriate, depending on what it is, right? But I think, even though that's kind of stunting for children to see that, I think that's, I don't know, sweet in a way. I can't explain it. Right? It's, I don't know, because Lincoln dies, and then his sister is saying, or all of his sisters are saying goodbye to him as they're crying, right? I used to did a reaction of the Sod House, and that went viral on my channel eons ago. I met this person, Wahid, that liked friends and whatnot. And, man, it had a lot of attention, because I know a lot of young viewers, right? And I cried when I seen that fan art. It's not the loudest. That, for people that support that, should just get their heart drives checked. You know, that's not okay. It's not. Like, even if they're adults, right? I don't tolerate incest. I don't care if you're both adults. It's not okay. It's not. You know, like, let's just say if it's Vegeta and Goku that have sex, well, so be it. Yeah, it's weird, but hey, they're both grown men, and, you know, well, they're not related. You know, they're Super Saiyans, but, you know, they're not DNA related, right? So basically, just to share more of why I felt emotional at the scene, is because there are a few other SpongeBob scenes that I do want to share, because I'm thinking about, let's just say, how SpongeBob portrays Christianity, even though there are videos like that. So that maybe I think that's already been done, which it has though. I want to go into deeper level because of the music that they played with the wings, and not to mention when SpongeBob, he didn't pressure him. I don't think he did, no, because he knew that Squidward is insecure of trying out that Krabby Patty, right? And then SpongeBob would say, "Good for your soul," and they're playing that orchestral Latin music, and I get a little emotional hearing that. Right? It's so weird. When I was younger, right? When I was little, I thought it was hilarious. But as an adult, it hits you differently. Let's just say SpongeBob adults differently. I guess you could say it's reverse adulthood. We feel more like children than children feel like adults, because some of these scenes, they may bring some disturbing flashbacks that makes us more emotional than children, right? And if I could show this very quickly for this, please pardon me for not sharing more images. I'm just not in the mental mood to share all of it because I'm tired. I'm gonna have sleep. I think a lot, maybe because I missed my apartment 260. I wish I could move back, and feeling that I keep coming many views to get my voice heard because I feel that I slacked off so much after I lost my darn doggy channel. I'm still trying to get it back, by the way, because YouTube that I did sex and nudity. This is showing 3 18-year-old men's stomachs, right? For fitness related and admiring their physique. Basically, my family, including my family. I don't think our oldest brother was. I think he was, Dion. I think, yeah, because all of your nephews and nieces were there. They were younger, right? This is what the Tra-la-la Captain Underpants got released in the theaters. I remember I even felt guilty that I want to record the little credits, right? Because I see other people, how they record in theaters or whatever. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I'm thinking, like, if the scenes is fine, I don't know, because I see a lot of people doing it. Again, this is a long time ago, right? Hopefully I won't get the FBI on me on that. Just the credits, right? Like, people are leaving the theater, right? You know how people like record before the movie starts or whatever, right? I've seen it a lot. Hell, even people that record in theaters of Wicked, or film, right? Because it's a movie. There is a scene from Captain Underpants, right? Such a good movie, by the way. I loved it. My nephews and nieces, they were laughing, right? I think they're a little bored. I could be wrong, though, but I was so engaged. I was 23 at the time, right? Dion, I think you were 22, yeah. I'm on that age. And the scene, I'm mad we played, like, I've got to do another one like this, and this does get a decent amount of attention. That way I can, let's just say, demonstrate, but a video of how, what the scene I'm talking about. It's basically Harold and Gerald. I forgot which is which, right? Harold's the white boy and Gerald's the black boy, right? Their principal, I forgot his name, gave them detention, right? But the thing is, I think it was detention, Dion, I think it was. They're not allowed to sit nearby each other. And when they're basically, because again, maybe I'm saying this from a spade perspective, right? Because I really, really, really care about platonic connections around people. More of like a dose of lust, but without the lust, right? Because being friends with someone is a gift. It is. And just got for someone that has difficulty forming friendships with people. When they were separated, I cried at that scene. I bawled my eyes out. My nephews and nieces, I think they see me crying too. I think it was your oldest nephew, yeah. Because he's 22 now, so, I guess it makes sense. He's 15 at the time, right? I think it was 15. I just know he was in high school, I think. It was so long ago. Oh my god, he's getting up there in age. It came out so long ago, right? At least one of them see my reaction. Yeah, I was crying. I was. Because I know how it's like when it reminded me of my best friend Joshua and I that were really close. And I would always cry to my mother that I miss Joshua, right? Like literally, randomly. He was the only friend that I had throughout my childhood, and that was long distance. And I don't know, I had to share that because as a 30-year-old, right? Trust me, we are, like, sometime blanket, we may not be as mature. Just because we're older doesn't mean we're going to be more wiser. We're more experienced, well, depending on what it is. Like, we have more life experience because we've been on this earth longer. But it doesn't always mean that we're more mature, right? It just means that we have witnessed more, if that makes sense. And this, like, reminding myself about that scene when Scooter was just going up to the heavens, right? I just had to break down. And then another special scene that I remember that I cried randomly. People think it's just weird. Dion, is it weird? Yes. But is it beautiful? Absolutely, Dion. Um, it's when the same episode, right? Hard to believe, when Squidward adores Krabby Patties, and he, in his dream, he married a Krabby Patty, and they had a child together, right? And it's emotional to see that because like it's hard to explain. Imagine you love someone, right? And then you do whatever it takes just to be with them. And it was so touching. It's weird, yes. But to see the Krabby Patty, that was just... And this is why I have so much sympathy for straight people, literally, because imagine that they want to have children, but they can't. Or even for the gay community, anyone on this earth that want to have children, right? Like, because of the gay community, you want to adopt, you want to raise them, and I can't see myself being a father. Just I thought I do my best I can to be an uncle, right? And I am far from being the best uncle. I still deeply care for them, right? Especially since I became an uncle at the age of 7. So yeah, I'm a really young uncle, extremely young. And this made me to see that scene. It just makes me, I don't know. It's just emotional, maybe because of the music that has to do with it. And then Squidward in his dream, he was saying, honey, right? I know that's weird, but it's an emotional because regardless of who you love, I mean, you can love food. At least from a spade perspective, I love food. Right? Literally, food is life. It is. I always say it's part of life, but we need it. Right? So, Squidward, I guess imagine that you want to basically date someone of a different race than you. Right? Okay, this is not the food version. This is more like the race version. And you have to deal with insecurities, and you dream to be with that person. Right? It kind of reminds me of After All song of Steven Universe when Greg was kissing Rose. I don't even know how they, Rose, but you know what I mean, right? I don't know how that's possible. I always wonder how Steven was born. I always wonder. Because the thing is, Rose Quartz is a gym. So, who knows? But the thing is, I guess people are thinking that, oh, you know what? Because you know how racism is always going to be a thing. It just amazes me how, because we're all human beings, but we're born in different skin pigments and whatnot. Especially since I'm a mutt, I've always wondered how, your relationship with your baby is born having these unique features. And also for my viewers that are not mixed, I do not want you to feel that, because I know mixed people that go through a lot. I know by experience. I think it's amazing if you're born white or born. I mean, imagine like you're just white, but you may have Irish. Oh, think about double here. Irish or what's to say? Just say running some Norwegian ancestry. You're white, but maybe I don't know. Your great grandfather wanted to have this gorgeous Viking intercourse with a Norwegian woman. And then you may have some features related to Nordics. I don't know. You're just white to me, right? I don't care. I don't give a luscious fin of where you originate. You're still a human being, right? I don't know if this makes any sense. It's just, to make this more clearly, I guess you could say, I don't know how to title it, how SpongeBob portrays Christianity in a dark light because of how, I mean, it should be a light. I might put light, right? Because it's really bleak, but it's beautiful at the same time. And it makes me really, really, really love. I wish I met him, Steven, before he passed because of his ALS, which is supposed to be this horrific, deadly, there's just no cure yet. Illness or disease that I think eats up your brain or something, and not like a zombie. You cannot control your body movements. It's hard to explain it. It's also someone has AIDS, but they don't. Something like that, or they're basically kind of being paralyzed. So that's what it is to me. And I just wanted to share how I feel about the episode because it was just so touching. The Bubble Buddy one, and then the something one bite episode, right? Two random episodes that I adore of the Order of SpongeBob series when Steven was here on Earth with us before he passed away to the heavens of Neptune, planet Neptune, where he could just study biology, animals, and just having a healthy life, surfing, not having ALS, something like that. And I don't know, I just had to share. Also, I just noticed SpongeBob is really popular in my state. I remember looked up a long time ago. We love SpongeBob here. I think we even have a Briley version of it. I mean, we're next to California, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. Not to mention we got a palm trees, so that kind of reminds me of the cloud flowers for some reason. I see them all over. It's like Jurassic Park here. I'm surprised California doesn't have as much as we do, and yet we're out in the desert. It's interesting. I don't know how I forgot what they're called. I think there are low palm trees because we got low trees. There's a difference. So I just had to just get this out of my system because I've been emotional for, I don't know, an hour. And I came it was almost 1 o'clock because I need to sleep a little bit before I live stream later on this scene. Man, I guess Indiana what's on the menu today because you've been doing a review almost every day now. Yeah. About Christianity or how Steven inspired Christians in SpongeBob, right? Because it's always about these adorable yet hilarious scenes of them having wings and whatnot, because that's a Christian, because of angels, right? I don't know what other, because I know for Buddhists it's reincarnation of the Buddha and whatnot and other forms, and then Muslim, I'm not sure about the Muslim one, to be honest. I know they got that adorable crescent moon, so not the three wise one, that's Christianity. I'm done with the main religions, and then for Jewish, you got the Star of David and the little cute dreidel. That's one thing. And Taoism, that's a yin yang. Shintoism is basically this automatic objects that you don't want to destroy. That's another thing. Only in Japan, I believe, they practice that. And then Chinese folk, it's a little different for that. Certain objects, but not quite to Shintoism. And then for ancient Egyptians, with the mummies and whatnot that keep in their tombs. I always wonder why, though, because I know that they helped build the empire and that's their home, right? Or at least that's where they will rest and they can't get their peace disturbed. You see how I'm open for religions, right? At least like this. And I can't believe it took almost a half hour about that scene. It was just so touching to me. And I don't know. I just had to share it because, boy, I just broke down. There was another scene that I remember, but I had speech block. Yeah, you forgot, didn't you? You did. There was something else that's related to SpongeBob as well that made me really emotional. And pardon for my voice is on monotone. I'm just a little bit exhausted. I don't remember for some odd reason, but oh yeah, that's right. So for my Christian viewers, right? If you're a newcomer here, okay, you may have seen a video about if you've seen Has Been Hotel, really great anime series. Like it for some odd reason. Again, it's definitely not for kids. It's the artist is towards, let's just say, older teens and young adults, 16 plus, give or take. Right? Not to mention Lucifer. Oh, he's an amazing character and a sexy man at that. Honestly, he's supposed to be a devil angel, so to speak. If I remember clearly, I got emotional when I seen it. It's supposed to be angels that are eyeballs with wings. And it's supposed to represent that you're being watched or looked over from any danger or natural disaster happening to you, right? And I cried when I seen that video. And that I don't know. It's supposed to be. I like to call it heavencore, ambient music. You know, I broke down when I heard it, and then to see the eyeball angels just rotating, right? Maybe it's because the natural disasters going on across the globe. I'm making that part up, right? And there's supposed to be, I think, a child that's looking up to that angel of eyes. Oh my goodness. Whoever designed that needs, I don't know, an award for best Christian mythology animation. I don't know. It was amazing. I'm not kidding. When I hear that, it gives me snow in my skin because, or it develops snow on my skin because of how just celestial it is. Right? If that makes sense. So, also, I noticed the celestial, it means heaven in Spanish, if I haven't said that already. And, I don't know, I just love that video a lot. I know what video it is, I just don't know the title, though, sadly. But yeah, Dan, you've been talking forever. Yeah, great. It's 101 right now, and I just wanted to share this because, like, Dumble and Greg, for example, Lauren, she went through a lot as well. They are currently going through a really difficult time, right? At least from what Greg's son, Eric, in the hospital is last night. And I hope that they're both doing well, especially his son. That nurse could kick the darn bucket for not allowing to see his own son, his own DNA. Honestly, that he raised and cares for. That nurse, I hope that she gets, this is an awful stereotype. 9 cats and 9 black cats, and they will all give her bad luck. It will rain every day, and then she can't even change her diaper of old age. I hope that happens to her because that treat a father like that. That's not okay. And he's Canadian, eh? So I'm shocked that happens even in Canadian standards. I know us Americans can be pretty harsh sometimes, absolutely, but at least in a patriotic way. But that's just basically my scene or my thoughts of Scooter's Christian theory. I don't know what time I'm going to give this. I don't know yet. I don't know. Well, I think, Dan, you should probably just call it how SpongeBob portrays, or how Steven Hillenburg portrays SpongeBob. Oh, no, that's a long title. I'll figure out something. I just had to just get this out of my system because, yes, I went to church. I mean, I guess I will, right? Because my mother's boyfriend was a hardcore Christian. He would go to church on both Saturdays and Sundays. We went to CCV, Christ Church of the Valley. If you're not from my state, you probably don't know what it is. It is a lovely church, but I had to say that God doesn't want, again, I'm not religious, okay? You know, I was raised that way, and even I would have Christian mannerisms because I'm glad I did. But it doesn't mean that I would want to read the Bible or practice it, right? Or at least, I don't know. Okay? It's hard to explain. Like, I'm glad I had that experience. If that makes, but at the same time, not being forced, you know, and get in trouble just because I don't want to read the Bible or whatnot. That's too much. God doesn't want you to, let's just say, I think that, I don't know. I know God wants, He wants humans to look out for each other, not to basically bid on each other. What I mean by that is how church, right? They want money. I get that. You know, I mean, let's just say for donations, you know, for helping out people that are homeless, that are hungry, maybe for basically kids that would go on Bible camps. I've been in one, by the way. But if you want to make your church fancy, I get it. You want to make it look nice. Again, would God want you to basically marry someone just for their looks? Yes, looks can be important to an extent, but is it everything? No. Yeah, yes, looks sadly can be important. Like for me, like if I don't know, if I was dating someone, I wanted to be healthy as an average, I guess, not a meth patient or someone that does meth. Absolutely not. Because would have that affected me? And I feel awful if I can't basically, let's just say, save them. right? Basically helping their addiction because I'm in it. Because I know a lot of people that did drugs, right? Because I can't imagine going to that path. It's hard to get out. So I'm talking about longer than I should. This is probably one of the longest videos I've done in a long time on this channel. That's not a live stream. It's just probably the longest I've done. You don't need a fancy church just to have followers. You don't. Same way that you need to follow someone for their looks. You know what I mean, right? Let's just say think about celebrity. Okay? Literally, maybe that's why I'm tired of how these celebrities had to get plastic surgery. Like, that's fine. But it's not going to make me respect you more. In fact, I'm thinking, like, why you gotta get so much, then? It kind of reminds me, I want to say this before I cut this off for today. I'm sorry about talking for so long about this, about looks, right? In a, let's just say, a Christian way, mind you, right? I remember seeing as, again, I'm not Christian, right? I've seen, I remember watching a video when I was much younger on a Britain's Got Talent of Susan Boyle. I'm thinking, man, these are basically Satan's little minions, at least the judges. Simon Cowell, Piers Morgan. I do not like Piers Morgan. He's a blunt, you know, like a conscious, yeah? Right? And they would basically immediately just give her the smirk, like, ew. Or blanket ill. Because, oh, she's not pretty? And again, this is not, oh, in God's image. Maybe. Right? She just happened to be developed that way. Right? Why do you have to judge her just because, oh, she may look like she had Down syndrome? You know, I'm sure she doesn't. Right? Why is that an issue just because she's not attracted? She has wings of courage to be on that stage and singing, I forgot the song it is. It's so beautiful, right? And I'm seeing all these other hot actors, but nope, they get the, like, you're out. I don't care if you're hot. If you have no talent, get out. Literally. Oh, you know, I'm pretty. You're gonna die like the rest of us. You're gonna be all wrinkled out eventually. You know, I gotta say, maybe I want to say this for my viewers who are ugly. I want to say this. There's nothing wrong with being ugly. This is no offense to my attractive people, because you're gonna look really hideous as you age. We're gonna look the same or slightly more ugly. That's it. You're gonna get really hideous as you age, and then you're probably wondering why people don't like you anymore. Well, no, this is only a handful of you. Do not be surprised, because let's just say if you bully someone for their looks, don't be surprised if it happens to you. Because I know a lot of people want to treat them way more kinder than attractive people. Doesn't mean that, oh yeah, they need to not be saved if they basically got robbed or raped. No. But don't be surprised. Don't say that, oh, I'm sorry, I keep trembling. I got assaulted, you know, I get sexual harassed. So do ugly people. Stop thinking that you're more entitled for that. That's just gaslighting, in my opinion. Anyway, I just wanted to share this, and Dumbo, Greg, I hope that you two are okay. And also, I think Mason so much, if he ever does decide to return my channel, that is here because he faces racial discrimination. He's a giant, by the way. Not in a bad way. He's 6'6.5", right? I'm surprised he actually measured his height exactly. And he's half Japanese and half black. That's insane. And he's 21. So, other than that, I wanted to share this because I know my viewers maybe you're under 20, so you're probably what? Younger generations? I forgot how. Wait, no, Dion, I think younger Generation Z, yeah. That can relate to this. And for my younger ones, if I have any, right? You know, I prefer having adult viewers on here, or just someone that's, let's just say 17 and older. Like, you look blanket, you're close to this college age because the language I'm going to use in my videos. I just want you to know that as you get older, you don't need to know everything. Even I don't. I'm still discovering who I am. And there's something wrong with being a little bit of a child at heart as an adult. I like to call it I guess it is called Peter Pan syndrome. I don't know. Other than that, I just had to share about Scooter because he's an amazing background character. I'm just thinking he's probably the same age as SpongeBob, his mid-20s, that maybe lives in South Bikini Atoll. I don't know. That happens to be a SoCal dude, right? You know, I love how Californians talk. I do. You know, they say like a lot. Like, you know, because like, you know, like SpongeBob, I don't know. So, I just had to just get some, and there, goodness, one night, I definitely gotta get some rest.